The afternoon had reached that comfortable, in-between sort of hour, not quite busy, not yet drowsy, when the cottage felt especially itself. Sunlight slanted in through the sitting-room window, resting in pale rectangles across the floorboards. Dust drifted lazily in the air, catching the light, as though it had all the time in the world. Outside, a pigeon cooed thoughtfully on the roof, and somewhere down the lane a gate creaked, then settled. Berry was on the rug, fitting together a jigsaw puzzle of a bright green steam train chugging and puffing through the countryside. Most of it was finished now, steam billowing in clouds over the carriages, wheels spinning along shiny bright rails. Only one piece was missing. He leaned back on his paws and frowned at the picture. "I'm sure it was here earlier," he said. Floyd looked up from his book. "Maybe it's gone exploring," he suggested. Berry smiled faintly, but his eyes were already scanning the floor. Millie Moonbeam was kneeling beside the wooden dresser. She reached up to the shelf for a folded cloth. As she leaned back to stand, her knee nudged the lowest drawer, and it slid open a little with a wooden sigh. She paused. "Oh," she said softly, "the messy drawer." At the sound of its name, everyone looked over. The drawer sat low and wide at the base of the dresser, its wooden handle smoothed pale by years of paws pulling it open. It wasn't locked, or hidden, or forgotten, just quietly there, holding what it held. Roscoe ambled over and crouched beside it. "Shall we see what's inside today?" Millie Moonbeam pulled the drawer the rest of the way open. Inside was the gentle jumble they all knew well. A single puzzle piece lay near the front, its colours a close match for Berry's steam train. A felt-tip pen lid rolled against the side, blue and slightly chewed. A woolen mitten, small and soft and missing its pair, was draped over a jam jar filled with seashells. There was a button the colour of honey, a length of red ribbon, a smooth stone with a white stripe through the middle, and a bent paper clip, all out of shape and angled like poking out elbows. Berry leaned closer. "That's my missing piece." Roscoe nodded. "So it is." Floyd lifted the stone and turned it between his paws. "I found this by the pond last spring," he said. "I didn't know where it should live." "It looks happy here," said Caratina, peering in. They sat on the floor together, the drawer open between them, like a small wooden treasure chest, objects resting, precious and waiting. Millie Moonbeam picked up the woolen mitten and smoothed it with her paw. "I keep meaning to find the other one," she said, "but it hasn't turned up yet." Roscoe took the pen lid and with a satisfying click placed it on the felt-tip pen that lived in the terracotta pot on the shelf above. Berry fitted his puzzle piece into place, pressing it gently down. He smiled, then looked back at the drawer. "Should we tidy it properly?" he asked. "Put everything where it belongs?" The question settled into the room and stayed there. Roscoe didn't answer at once. He ran his paw along the inside edge of the drawer, feeling the grain of wood, the small nick where it had once been bumped by the corner of a dropped baking tray. The drawer smelled faintly of wool, paper, and time. "The thing about the messy drawer," he said at last, "is that it already is where things belong, just for now. It's like a resting place, a quiet pocket where little things wait until the cottage has time for them." They began to sort, but only a little. The ribbon was wound loosely instead of tangled. The button was placed into a tiny dish so it wouldn't wander. The stone was set near the back where it could rest without rolling. The mitten was folded more neatly, its wool smelling faintly of soap and sun. Nothing was rushed out of the drawer. Nothing was forced into a final decision. Outside, the light shifted. The pale gold deepened, shadows stretching themselves long across the floor. In the kitchen, Raider Biscuits was filling the kettle, water glugging pleasantly into metal. Berry looked into the drawer again. "If I lose something later," he said, "I'll know to look here." Roscoe smiled. "And if you don't find it right away," he added, "that's all right too." They slid the drawer closed together. It went in smoothly, making that same familiar sound, and the dresser looked exactly as it always had. No one passing through the room would have known anything had changed. But it had. The puzzle was finished and placed carefully on the table to admire later. The felt-tip pen was capped. The stone remained in the drawer, waiting. As evening crept closer, lamps were lit one by one, their warm glow softening the corners of the room. Fruit cake was sliced, custard creams were arranged on a plate. A small pot of porridge oats was set ready for the morning. Later still, warm milk was sipped through curly straws, and biscuits and cake were shared. Yawns arrived quietly, one after another, and resolved into satisfied whiskery smiles. Berry glanced once toward the dresser before settling down. "I like the messy drawer," he said. "It doesn't mind waiting." Roscoe patted the patchwork blanket covering his tumblington. "Neither should we mind," he said. Outside, the cottage sighed as the evening cooled its sandy-coloured walls. Somewhere, a few gardens along, the hens clucked and ruffled themselves into sleep. Inside the cottage, everything had found its place, even the things that weren't ready yet. All was snug. All was well. Night, night.